What's going on, Space Monkeys? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden, and we're reading Dreamland today. If my cat attacks me at some point during this, we'll just keep trying to read. She's kind of in a mood. So we're on page 187. This is part 2 of the book. The chapter's called 2,000-Year-Old Questions. Boston, Massachusetts. One spring day in 2000, Dr. Nathaniel Katz left his Boston pain clinic and crossed the Charles River to a hotel in Cambridge. Awaiting his arrival were 300 physicians and researchers attending a conference on infectious diseases. Katz had been a practicing pain specialist for almost a decade. He'd agreed to speak to the conference on how to manage pain in AIDS patients. He walked through the Royal Sonesta Hotel in his best suit, a name tag affixed, and a carousel of slides under his arm. I was nervous. A pretty young girl was there. I was half noticing her. She comes up to me and says, "Dr. Katz?" And I'm thinking, great, my first fan, and she's a pretty young girl. I'm ready for adulation. "Nathaniel Katz?" she says. "That's right," I say. She says to me, "I've been waiting for 10 years to tell you this. You killed my brother Peter." Nathaniel Katz had grown up in a Coney Island apartment near the elevated tracks. His parents, Eastern European Jews, survived the Holocaust and came to New York City in 1948. His father worked as a chemist with the city's transit authority. Katz finished high school at 16, college at 20, and went on to medical school. By 1986, he had graduated and was interested in studying the nervous system. He did a 3-year fellowship on neurology. He had no tutelage in pain management. No one did in medical school. "Just because it's a problem every doctor faces every day," he said, "doesn't mean that it's something you would run into in medical school." He was surprised as a young neurologist to find pain everywhere: back pain, neck pain, headaches, muscle pain, pain associated with MS, Parkinson's, or strokes. Patients virtually clawed at his lab coat for help in managing their pain. "I kept on seeing these patients and not knowing what to do with them," he said. As it happened, Katz got his training in the first years of the debate within American medicine over opiates and pain. Everywhere people quoted the notion, priced unwillingly from Herschel Jick's one-paragraph letter years before, that less than 1% of pain patients who were prescribed opiates developed addiction. By the time Katz was well into his medical training, a new conventional wisdom on opiates had emerged. It went something like this. Katz remembered. It was not only okay, but it was our holy mission to cure the world of its pain by waking people up to the fact that opiates were safe. All those rumors of addiction were misguided. The solution was a poppy plant. It was there all along. The only reason we didn't use it was stigma and prejudice. Once it became clear that pain patients weren't going to become addicted, now we were liberated to use that solution that had been in hand the whole time. My fellowship director even told me, if you have pain, you can't get addicted to opiates because pain soaks up the euphoria. Now you look back and it sounds so preposterous. It's actually what people thought, though. You can think what you want in the face of 10,000 years of reality. But young and dutiful, Katz prescribed opiates. Sure enough, some patients did well on the drugs, as his instructors said they would. But he noticed that just as many did poorly. They were running out of the drugs before the month was up and asking for more. The real problems were things I couldn't see. What was that patient doing with the medication when they left? Then Katz met Peter. Peter was incontinent and had numbness in his legs, the result of an injury to his lower spinal cord. Peter was also unemployed and an alcoholic. At the time, pain specialists and addiction specialists rarely crossed paths. Even today, despite a national movement to treat pain with addictive drugs, the two specialties, remarkably, still don't have much contact. There are no joint conferences where the two specialties might meet. So despite Peter's history of substance abuse, Katz prescribed opiates. Before long, Peter was asking for more before the end of the month. Katz hesitated, but Peter was a loquacious fellow. He charmed the doctor in each month and walked out of Katz's office with more medication. "I was faced with the dilemma that prescribers have," Katz said. "What is the nature of the problem? If it's an abuse problem, the patient's not going to tell you." Before Katz had a chance to find out, Peter died from an overdose of the medication the young doctor was prescribing. His death was a turning point for Nathaniel Katz. He was dead, and I liked him, and I wanted to help him. Katz had two questions. Are opiates safe when used to treat chronic pain? Are they effective in treating that pain? Katz searched the medical literature and found nothing. There's not a shred of research out there on the issue. All these so-called experts in pain are dedicated and have been training me that opioids aren't as addictive as we thought. But what is that based on? It was based on nothing. I felt I've just uncovered the problem of our age and of 500 BC. What are the risks of opioids? There was no answer to those questions, despite the fact that people have been asking for them for 2,500 years. We'll finish the rest of the chapter later on today. My cat is driving me crazy right now, so we'll start again on page 189 later today. Keep fighting that good fight.